Chosen one, God's plan for you this June 6 is unfolding right now, and you need to listen closely. That restlessness stirring in your chest, that quiet whisper urging you to pause your scrolling and pay attention. It's not random, it's divine. You didn't stumble across this message by accident. Heaven hunted you down, pinpointing this exact moment to speak directly to your soul. June 6, 2025 isn't just another day on your calendar. It's a divine appointment, a sacred marker in eternity's timeline, where God is ready to unveil a plan so specific, so tailored to you, that it will shift the trajectory of your entire life. Are you tired of waiting for answers that never seem to come? Have you grown weary of praying prayers that feel like they're lost in the wind? Do you ever wonder why your dreams seem to linger just out of reach, while others seem to walk effortlessly into their blessings? This is your moment, chosen one. God is whispering, "It's time to reveal everything I've been preparing for you." But here's the urgency. This divine window won't stay open forever. By midnight on June 6, a door of destiny is swinging wide, and if you hesitate, it may close before you step through. Feel that quickening in your spirit? That's not anxiety. That's recognition. Your soul knows this is no ordinary message. It's a divine wake-up call, a celestial alarm clock ringing to jolt you out of complacency. You've been carrying burdens others can't see. Sleepless nights, financial pressures, fractured relationships, dreams deferred by years of disappointment. You've wondered if God has forgotten your name, if your pain has been for nothing. Let me tell you something that will shake you to your core. Every tear you've shed, every door that slammed shut, every moment you felt invisible, it was all divine preparation. Your struggles weren't punishment, they were positioning. Your delays weren't denial, they were God's way of forging you into something unbreakable. Like a diamond formed under pressure, your trials have been shaping you for a purpose so magnificent it required this exact process. Picture a scroll unfurling in the courts of heaven, your name written in golden ink, sealed with divine purpose. That scroll isn't a vague promise. It's a detailed blueprint of God's plan for you, crafted before the stars were hung in the sky. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This isn't a generic verse for the masses. It's a personal promise with your name on it. God didn't just know you before you were formed in the womb, as Jeremiah 1:5 says. He knew this very moment would come. He saw you clicking on this video, feeling the weight of your questions, and He's ready to answer with a clarity that will leave you speechless. But here's the truth most believers miss. God's plans require your participation. The door is open, but you must choose to walk through it. Let's talk about why this moment feels so heavy. You've been through storms that should have broken you, betrayals that cut deep, financial struggles that left you scraping by, health battles that tested your faith. You've watched others walk through doors you thought were meant for you, and somewhere along the way, you started believing the lie that God plays favorites, and you're not one of them. But chosen one, hear this. Every closed door was God's protection, not His rejection. Every unanswered prayer was His redirection to something greater. Think of Joseph, thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in a prison cell for years. To the world, his life looked like a series of dead ends. But Genesis 50:20 reveals the truth. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Every rejection was redirecting him to a palace where he'd saved nations. Your story is no different. Those moments when life felt unfair, God was weaving a tapestry of triumph. And this June 6, you're about to see the first threads of that masterpiece come together. Now, let's address the fear that's trying to hold you back. You're standing at the edge of something massive and a voice is whispering, "What if you're not enough? What if you fail? What if this is just another disappointment?" That voice isn't wisdom, it's fear, and it's a liar. Fear is the enemy's oldest trick, designed to keep you small when God created you to be a giant. Look at David, a shepherd boy facing Goliath. His knees might have trembled, but he slung that stone anyway. Esther risked death to approach the king, yet she walked forward in faith. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." That fear you're feeling, it's not from God. It's a counterfeit trying to block your divine purpose. This video unveils a unique truth. Your deepest fears are the keys to your greatest breakthroughs. Every time you've felt inadequate, God was preparing to show His sufficiency through you. Every time you've feared failure, He was setting you up for a victory only He could orchestrate. Let's make this real. Think about Sarah, a single mother from Atlanta who sat in her small apartment last year, scrolling through her phone, feeling like her dreams of starting a community outreach program were impossible. She had no funding, no connections, just a burning desire to help families in her neighborhood. One night, she stumbled across a message like this one, urging her to act on her God-given vision. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, she took a small step. She wrote down her goal to start a food pantry and called a local pastor to share her idea. Within weeks, a church donated a space and volunteers showed up. Today, her pantry feeds 50 families a week. Sarah didn't have all the answers, but she had faith that moved her feet. Her fear of not being enough became the key to her breakthrough. Your story could be next, chosen one, but it starts with action. Here's where we get practical. God's plan for you this June 6th isn't just a spiritual promise, it's a call to move. I'm going to give you 3 specific, actionable steps to position yourself for this divine moment. First, write down one clear goal you believe God has placed on your heart for this month. It could be starting a project, pursuing a job, or rebuilding a relationship. Put it on paper, make it real, and place it somewhere you'll see it daily. Second, reach out to one person this week, someone you need to forgive, encourage, or collaborate with. A phone call, a text, or a coffee meeting can unlock doors you didn't know existed. Third, take one tangible step toward your dream today. If it's a ministry, register a domain name. If it's a business, sketch out a plan. If it's personal growth, sign up for that course you've been eyeing. These steps aren't random. They're your keys to crossing the threshold of this divine door. Write the goal, reach out, act now. That's it. No more steps will be added. But these 3 will align you with God's plan if you commit to them. Imagine standing before a radiant door, your name carved in gold, glowing with divine promise. That door isn't locked, it's waiting for you to turn the handle. But the enemy wants you to believe it's too heavy, too risky, too late. Don't buy the lie. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Faith doesn't wait for perfect conditions, it acts in the storm. Think about Noah, building an ark when the sky was clear. He didn't need a weather report. He needed obedience. Your obedience this June 6 is the key that unlocks God's plan. Don't let fear rewrite your story. You're not too old, too broken, or too late. God chose you before time began, and He's calling you now to step into your spiritual awakening. If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting our mission through Super Thanks below. Your generosity helps us reach more chosen ones standing at their own divine doors, ready to step into their destiny. Every seed you sow spreads this light further, but whether you give or simply receive, know that your presence here is no accident. You're part of a remnant, a family of believers awakening to their divine purpose. Type I am stepping into God's plan in the comments below to declare your commitment. Your words aren't just a comment. They're a spiritual marker, a declaration to heaven that you're ready to move. Let's build a community of faith where each declaration inspires another soul to step forward. Let's go deeper. You've been carrying a weight others can't see, a heaviness that follows you into crowded rooms, a loneliness that lingers even when you're surrounded. You've watched others claim blessings while you've waited, prayed, and wondered why your breakthrough hasn't come. But here's the truth. Your waiting wasn't wasted. Every moment of delay was God building your character for a purpose too big for instant gratification. Look at Moses. 80 years in the wilderness before leading a nation. Those years weren't punishment, they were preparation. Your wilderness, whether it's financial strain, broken relationships, or unfulfilled dreams, is your training ground. God hasn't forgotten you. He's been forging you. Psalm 66:10 says, "For you, God, tested us. You refined us like silver." That refining fire wasn't meant to burn you, it was meant to make you shine. Now, let's talk about hope. The world has taught you that hope is fragile, a fleeting wish that crumbles under pressure. But biblical hope is a divine compass, pointing you toward promises already sealed in heaven. Romans 15:13 declares, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." That hope isn't wishful thinking. It's certainty in God's faithfulness. When Abraham was promised a son at 99, hope wasn't a feeling, it was his anchor. Your hope this June 6 is your guide through this open door. Don't bury it under disappointment. Every setback was redirecting you to this moment. That job you didn't get, God was saving you for a better opportunity. That relationship that ended, God was protecting your heart for a greater purpose. Your hope is the key that unlocks your personal transformation. Let's make this personal. Picture Maria, a teacher from Chicago who felt stuck in a dead-end job. Her dream of writing a devotional book buried under years of self-doubt. Last June, she watched a message like this, urging her to act on her God-given vision. She took a small step. She wrote one page of her book and shared it with a friend. That friend connected her with a publisher, and today her devotional is in bookstores, touching thousands of lives. Maria's fear of failure was real, but her faith was stronger. Her story isn't unique. It's a blueprint. Your small step today could be the spark that ignites your destiny. Remember those 3 steps. Write your goal, reach out to someone, take action now. They're simple, but they're powerful when fueled by faith. You might be thinking, but what if I'm not ready? What if I've messed up too many times? Let me stop you there. God doesn't call the perfect. He perfects the called. Look at Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times, yet became the rock on which the church was built. Your mistakes don't disqualify you, they authenticate you. Your scars are proof you've survived battles most would never endure. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." You were crafted for this moment, flaws and all. That door with your name on it, it's not waiting for a better version of you. It's waiting for the real you, the one God chose before time began. Now, imagine standing on a cliff, the wind of destiny rushing past you, a vast horizon stretching before you. That's where you are this June 6. The door isn't just an opportunity, it's a portal to the life God designed for you. But it's not about you alone. Your breakthrough is a bridge for others. Your courage will inspire someone in your family, your church, your community. When you step through, you're not just changing your story, you're rewriting generations. Think of Harriet Tubman, leading 300 slaves to freedom, not because she was fearless, but because she trusted God's plan over her fears. Your faith journey this June 6 could be the spark that sets someone else free. Let's address the doubts creeping in. You're wondering, what if this is just hype? What if I step out and fall? Let's be real. Stepping into God's plan isn't a guarantee of instant success, it's a promise of divine presence. Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." God isn't promising a smooth road. He's promising to walk it with you. Every giant you face, every storm you weather, He's there, turning your fears into stepping stones. Remember those 3 steps. Write your goal, reach out, act now. They're not a formula for perfection, they're a framework for faith. When you move, God moves with you. Let's talk about legacy. This door isn't just about your breakthrough, it's about the generations you'll impact. Think of Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison, yet his faith in justice reshaped a nation. His struggle wasn't just for him, it was for millions. Your obedience this June 6 isn't just for you. It's for the child who needs your wisdom, the friend who needs your courage, the stranger who needs your testimony. Isaiah 61:4 says, "They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated." That's you, chosen one. You're not just stepping into a new season, you're rebuilding what was broken before you were born. Your financial struggles, they're breaking the curse of poverty. Your relational pain, it's dismantling abandonment. Your health battles, they're defeating premature death in your bloodline. You're not ordinary, you're not replaceable. You're the answer to someone's prayer, the solution to someone's problem, the miracle someone's been waiting for. This June 6, God's plan is to unleash your divine purpose, but it requires your yes. Don't let the enemy convince you to stay small. Revelation 3:8 says, "I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." That door is open now, but it won't wait forever. Picture it. A radiant portal, pulsing with divine energy, your name etched in light. It's not locked, it's beckoning. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your keys. Don't overthink them. Don't wait for a better moment. This is your moment. If this message is setting your heart ablaze, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your subscription isn't just a click, it's a commitment to walk this faith journey with a community of believers. And if you feel led, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us reach more souls standing at their own divine doors. Your generosity is a seed planted in fertile ground, spreading hope to those who need it most. Type, "I am stepping into God's plan" in the comments to seal your commitment. Let's stand together, chosen one, as we cross this threshold into the life God has prepared. Now let's talk about what's on the other side of this door. It's not just blessings, it's authority. Not just answers, it's purpose. Not just breakthrough, it's legacy. You're not stepping into a comfortable life, you're stepping into a battlefield where you're called to be a warrior. Luke 12:48 says, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded." Being chosen isn't about privilege, it's about responsibility. Behind this door are souls waiting for your testimony, communities waiting for your leadership, generations waiting for your courage. You're not just receiving a miracle, you're becoming one. Think of Esther, risking everything to save her people. Her moment wasn't about her comfort, it was about her calling. Your moment this June 6 is no different. You might feel unprepared, but God specializes in using the unlikely. Moses was a stutterer, yet he spoke to Pharaoh. David was a teenager, yet he felled a giant. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be willing. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your starting point. They're not the whole journey, but they're the spark that ignites it. Imagine John, a mechanic from Dallas who felt God nudging him to mentor at-risk youth. He was terrified, with no formal training, just a heart for change. Last year he wrote down his goal, contacted a local youth center, and started a weekly workshop. Today, 20 young men call him their mentor, and his community is stronger for it. Your small step could ripple like that, chosen one. The clock is ticking toward midnight on June 6. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about divine timing. Isaiah 55:6 says, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near." This is your window, your moment to align with God's plan. Don't let it slip through your fingers like sand. You've been waiting for a sign, but this message is the sign. You've been praying for clarity, but this moment is the clarity. The door is open, the path is set, and your faith is the key. Will you step through, or will you let fear write the end of your story? Chosen one, as the clock ticks closer to midnight on June 6, the weight of this moment is undeniable. You're standing at the edge of a divine precipice, where the air is thick with possibility, and the ground beneath you hums with eternal purpose. This isn't a casual invitation, it's a sacred summons. God's plan for you this June 6 isn't a suggestion, it's a mandate etched in the heavens, waiting for your response. You've felt the stirring, the quickening in your spirit that says something monumental is at stake. That's because it is. This door, radiant with your name carved in celestial light, isn't just a portal to personal breakthrough. It's a gateway to becoming the vessel God designed you to be. You're not here to merely survive. You're here to shift atmospheres, to break chains, to ignite hope in places where darkness has reigned too long. Let's talk about the resistance you're facing. It's not just doubt or fear. It's a spiritual opposition that knows the power of your yes. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. The intensity of your battles isn't a sign of your weakness. It's proof of your threat to the enemy's plans. Every time you've wanted to quit but didn't, every time you've prayed through tears, every time you've chosen faith over despair, you've been winning battles in the unseen realm. The angels have been taking notes, and heaven has been keeping score. This June 6, the final victory is being prepared, but it requires you to step forward, not in your strength, but in God's. Picture a battlefield, not of swords and shields, but of prayers and promises. You're not a bystander. You're a warrior clad in the armor of God with a mission that echoes through eternity. The enemy has tried to distract you with temporary setbacks, whispering that your struggles are evidence of God's absence. But Romans 8:28 declares, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Your hardships, those late-night worries about bills, those moments of feeling overlooked, those dreams that seem to fade, are raw materials in God's hands. He's crafting a story of triumph, and this June 6 is the chapter where the tides turn. Your pain has been purposeful, your waiting strategic. You're not behind, you're exactly where God needs you to be for this divine moment. Let's make this vivid. Imagine a woman named Clara, a nurse from Seattle, who spent years caring for others while her own dream of opening a free clinic for the homeless felt like a distant fantasy. She faced endless obstacles, no funding, no time, and a family that doubted her vision. One evening, feeling defeated, she stumbled across a message urging her to trust God's timing. Instead of giving in to despair, she took a small step. She wrote down her goal to open the clinic, called a local non-profit for advice, and started researching grants. Within months, a donor offered seed money, and today her clinic serves hundreds. Clara's story isn't a fairy tale. It's a testament to what happens when you align with God's plan, even when the path isn't clear. Your story could be next, chosen one. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your bridge to that reality. They're not magic, they're obedience in motion. Now let's talk about identity. The world has tried to label you too old, too broken, too ordinary. But God sees you differently. Revelation 2:17 promises, "To the one who is victorious, I will give a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it." That new name isn't a title. It's your true essence, the identity God spoke over you before time began. You're not defined by your failures or your past. You're called beloved, victorious, world changer. This June 6, God is inviting you to shed the false names you've carried and step into the one He's reserved for you. Imagine holding that white stone, its weight warm in your palm, your new name glowing with divine authority. That's who you are, chosen one, and that's who steps through this door. Let's go deeper into the promise of this moment. You've been carrying a vision, a dream that feels too big, too impossible. Maybe it's a ministry to heal broken families, a business to create jobs, or a personal transformation to break generational cycles. That vision isn't a fantasy, it's a divine download. A glimpse of what's waiting on the other side of this door. Psalm 37:4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Those desires aren't random. They're planted by God, tailored to your calling. But here's the key. Delighting in the Lord means trusting His timing even when it feels delayed. This June 6, that timing is aligning. Your vision is coming into focus, but it requires courage to claim it. Think about the Israelites at the edge of the Red Sea, Pharaoh's army closing in. They were terrified, trapped between death and a miracle. Exodus 14:15 records God's response. "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on." Sometimes the most spiritual act is to stop praying for a sign and start walking toward the promise. Your Red Sea moment is here. The waters won't part until you move. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your first steps through the sea. They're not the whole journey, but they signal to heaven that you're ready. Don't wait for the waters to part. Step forward and watch God make a way where there seems to be none. Let's address the temptation to compare. You've seen others prosper while you've waited, and it stirred envy or doubt. But Galatians 6:4 says, each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else. Your journey isn't theirs. God's plan for you is custom-made, designed for your unique strengths and struggles. The doors others walked through weren't meant for you, but this one, this radiant portal glowing with your name, is yours alone. Comparing yourself to others is like trying to unlock your door with someone else's key. It won't work. Focus on your path, your calling, your June 6. This is your moment to shine, not to dim your light in someone else's shadow. Imagine a runner in a relay race, gripping the baton, muscles tensed, waiting for their turn. That's you right now. The baton is your calling, passed from generations who prayed for you, from ancestors who endured so you could stand here. Hebrews 12:1 says, Since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. This June 6, you're not running alone. The cloud of witnesses, your grandmother's prayers, your father's sacrifices, the saints of old, is cheering you on. But the race is yours to run. Don't drop the baton. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your stride forward. Keep running, chosen one, because the finish line is closer than you think. You might be wondering, what if I step through and find more challenges? Let's be honest. God's plan doesn't promise a life free of trials. John 16:33 says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." The door before you doesn't lead to ease. It leads to purpose. On the other side, you'll face giants, but you'll also wield the authority to slay them. You'll encounter storms, but you'll have the faith to calm them. Every challenge is a chance to grow stronger, to prove God's faithfulness, to build a testimony that shakes nations. Your breakthrough this June 6 isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a legacy. If this message is stirring your heart, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your subscription is a commitment to walk this faith journey with a family of believers. And if you feel led, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us reach more souls at their divine crossroads. Type "I trust God's plan" for June 6 in the comments to declare your resolve. Your voice matters, chosen one, and it's joining a movement of faith that's changing lives. Let's keep moving toward this open door together. Now, let's talk about the power of your words. Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Your words aren't just sounds, they're spiritual forces shaping your reality and aligning you with God's plan. When you speak doubt, you build walls. When you speak faith, you open doors. This June 6, God is calling you to declare His promises over your life. Say it out loud. I am chosen. I am called. God's plan for me is unfolding now. Those words aren't empty. They're a prophetic act, sealing your commitment to step through this door. Your declaration is a weapon, dismantling the enemy's lies and paving the way for your breakthrough. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves, its beam cutting through the darkest storm. That's you, chosen one. Your faith, your obedience, your willingness to step into God's plan this June 6. It's a beacon for others lost in the fog. You're not just walking through a door, you're lighting a path. Think of Desmond, a carpenter from Miami who felt God urging him to start a woodworking program for at-risk teens. He doubted his skills, his resources, his worth. But last year he wrote down his goal, reached out to a local school, and built a small workshop. Today, 15 teens are learning a trade, finding purpose, and breaking cycles of poverty. Desmond's light is shining, and yours can too. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your beam. Shine it brightly, chosen one. You're not stepping into this moment alone. God is with you, His Spirit guiding every step. Zephaniah 3:17 says, "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In His love He will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." Picture that, the Creator of the universe singing over you, delighting in your courage, cheering your faith. This June 6, you're not an afterthought. You're God's masterpiece, crafted for a purpose that's unfolding now. Trust His plan, lean into His presence, and step boldly through this door. Your destiny is waiting, and it's more glorious than you've ever dared to dream. Chosen one, as you stand on the threshold of God's plan this June 6, the melody of heaven's song over you is more than a comforting thought. It's a divine force, propelling you toward a destiny that's been written in the stars since before time began. Zephaniah's promise isn't just poetry. It's a declaration that the mighty warrior is not only with you, but is actively fighting for you, clearing the path ahead with a precision that human eyes can't yet see. This moment, this sacred juncture, is where the invisible becomes visible, where the dreams you've held in secret begin to take shape in the light of God's purpose. You're not just stepping through a door. You're stepping into a divine narrative where every chapter of your life has been leading to this page. The question isn't whether God's plan is ready for you, it's whether you're ready to embrace the magnitude of what's on the other side. Let's talk about surrender. Not the kind that waves a white flag in defeat, but the kind that hands over the pen of your story to the author of eternity. John 15:5 says, "I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." This June 6, God's plan hinges on your willingness to abide in Him, to let go of the need to control every outcome and trust that His design is better than your blueprint. You've been gripping the reins, planning, striving, worrying, afraid that if you loosen your hold, everything will fall apart. But surrender is the key that unlocks the door. It's not about giving up, it's about giving over, letting God's strength flow through your weakness, His wisdom guide your steps, His vision shape your future. Imagine a river, its current swift and sure, carving through mountains with effortless power. That's God's plan for you, a force of divine purpose that doesn't need your struggle to move forward, only your willingness to flow with it. You've been standing on the bank, hesitating, wondering if the water is safe, if you'll be carried where you want to go. But Psalm 32:8 promises, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." This June 6, God is inviting you to step into the current, to trust that His guidance is enough. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your way of dipping your feet into the river. They're not the whole journey, but they're your act of surrender, signaling to heaven that you're ready to move with the flow of divine purpose. Let's make this real with a story. Consider James, a mechanic from Charlotte, who spent years feeling trapped in a cycle of debt and unfulfilled potential. He dreamed of starting a mobile repair service for low-income families, but the fear of financial failure kept him stuck. One night, he encountered a message urging him to trust God's timing. Instead of waiting for a windfall, he took a small step. He wrote down his business idea, called a friend for advice, and started fixing cars for free in his neighborhood. Word spread, and within a year, his mobile service was thriving, serving dozens of families and breaking his own financial chains. James didn't have all the resources, but he had faith that surrendered to God's plan. Your surrender this June 6 could spark a similar breakthrough, chosen one. Now, let's address the lies you've believed about your worth. The enemy has whispered that you're too flawed, too insignificant, too late to matter. But 1 Peter 2:9 proclaims, "You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light." Your identity isn't tied to your mistakes or the world's opinions. It's anchored in God's declaration over you. This June 6, you're not stepping through this door as a failure. You're stepping through as royalty, commissioned to carry divine light into places of despair. Picture yourself wearing a crown, not of gold, but of purpose. Its jewels forged from every trial you've overcome. That's who walks through this door, chosen one. Let's dive into the power of gratitude. In the midst of your struggles, it's easy to focus on what's missing: money, opportunities, answers. But 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a spiritual weapon, shifting your perspective from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. This June 6th, God's plan includes a call to thank Him for what He's already done, even if the full picture isn't clear. Think about Paul and Silas imprisoned, their bodies bruised, their future uncertain. Acts 16:25 says, "About midnight Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them." Their gratitude in the dark triggered an earthquake that broke their chain. Your gratitude could be the earthquake that opens your door. Try this. Pause for a moment and name 3 things you're thankful for. A friend who stood by you, a moment of unexpected provision, the strength to keep going. Those aren't accidents. They're evidence of God's hand in your life. Gratitude doesn't ignore your pain, it reframes it, revealing the threads of divine faithfulness woven through your story. This June 6, your thanksgiving is a key to unlocking the next phase of God's plan. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about trusting that God is working even in the mess. Those 3 steps: write your goal, reach out, act now, are amplified by gratitude, turning small acts into seismic shifts. Let's talk about community. You're not walking this path alone. Hebrews 10:24-25 urges, "Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another." This June 6, God's plan includes connecting you with others who share your faith, who can pray with you, dream with you, and hold you accountable. You've felt isolated, like no one understands your journey. But there's a remnant out there, thousands of chosen ones standing at their own doors, ready to link arms with you. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, aren't just personal, they're communal. Reaching out to someone could spark a partnership that changes lives. Picture a bonfire, its flames leaping high, fed by logs stacked together. Alone, a single log smolders. Together, they blaze. That's the power of community. Think of Rachel, a graphic designer from Denver, who felt God nudging her to create art that inspired faith. She was shy, hesitant, afraid of rejection. Last year, she reached out to a local church group, sharing her sketches. That connection led to a collaboration with the worship team, and now her art is displayed in churches across the city, touching hearts she'll never meet. Rachel's step of reaching out wasn't just for her. It was for a community craving hope. Your step this June 6 could do the same, chosen one. Now, let's explore the mystery of divine timing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." You've wondered why your breakthrough hasn't come sooner, why God's plan feels delayed, but this June 6, the seasons are shifting. What felt like a long winter is giving way to spring, where seeds planted in tears are about to bloom. God's timing isn't arbitrary, it's surgical, aligning every detail, people, resources, opportunities for this moment. Those closed doors, those unanswered prayers, they were God's way of syncing your life with His perfect clock. This June 6, the hour hand is moving, and your door is wide open. Imagine a conductor raising his baton, the orchestra poised, every instrument tuned for the symphony's first note. That's God's plan this June 6, a masterpiece where every trial, every tear, every moment of waiting has been a rehearsal for this performance. You're not late. You're right on cue. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your notes in the score. Play them boldly, chosen one, because the world is waiting to hear your song. Don't fear the stage, trust the conductor. Your faith journey is about to crescendo into something breathtaking. If this message is setting your heart ablaze, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your subscription is a vow to walk this path with a family of believers. And if you feel led, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us reach more souls at their divine turning points. Type "I surrender to God's plan" this June 6 in the comments to seal your resolve. Your declaration is a spark, igniting a fire of faith that spreads far beyond this moment. Let's keep pressing toward this open door, chosen one, with hearts full of gratitude and eyes fixed on God's promise. Let's talk about resilience. You've been knocked down, but you're still here. That's not luck. That's divine endurance. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." Your ability to rise after every fall, to pray after every disappointment, to hope after every setback, that's God's power at work in you. This June 6, your resilience is your testimony, a living proof that God's plan prevails. Every scar you carry is a badge of victory, a sign that hell tried to stop you but failed. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, poised to step into a destiny that will echo through generations. Imagine a tree, its roots deep, its branches reaching skyward, unshaken by storms. That's you, chosen one. Your roots are your faith, anchored in God's promises. Your branches are your dreams, stretching toward His purpose. This June 6, God is pruning what no longer serves you: fear, doubt, old wounds, to make room for new growth. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your way of cooperating with the pruning, clearing space for fruit that will feed nations. Don't shrink back, grow boldly, because your resilience is about to bear fruit that changes lives. Chosen one, your resilience is not just a personal triumph. It's a divine declaration, a living testament that God's plan for you this June 6th is unstoppable. Like a tree rooted deep, standing tall through storms, you've been shaped by every gust of adversity, every season of drought, to bear fruit that will nourish not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Philippians 4:13 isn't just a verse. It's the pulse of your story, the strength that has carried you through moments when giving up seemed easier than pressing on. This June 6, God is calling you to recognize that your endurance is not accidental. It's evidence of your calling, a sign that you were chosen for a purpose that demands unwavering tenacity. The door before you, glowing with divine promise, isn't just an opportunity, it's the culmination of every moment you refused to let darkness define you. Let's talk about vision, not the kind you see with your eyes, but the kind that burns in your spirit, the kind that keeps you awake at night with whispers of what could be. Proverbs 29:18 says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Your vision, this dream of starting a ministry, launching a business, healing a relationship, or breaking a generational cycle, isn't a fleeting thought, it's a divine blueprint, a glimpse of the future God has prepared for you. This June 6, God's plan is to sharpen that vision, to bring it into focus with a clarity that drowns out the noise of doubt. You've been tempted to dismiss it as too big, too risky, too far-fetched. But what if that vision is the very thing God is waiting for you to claim? What if it's the key to unlocking the door before you? Picture a painter standing before a blank canvas, brush in hand, heart racing with the image only they can see. That's you, chosen one. Your canvas is your life, and your vision is the masterpiece God has entrusted you to create. The world may see a blank slate, but you see colors of hope, strokes of courage, a work of art that will outlive you. This June 6th, God is handing you the brush, urging you to paint boldly those 3 steps. Write your goal, reach out, act now. Are your first strokes the initial marks that transform the blankness into something eternal? You don't need the whole picture yet, you just need to start. The master artist will guide your hand, ensuring every stroke aligns with his divine design. Let's make this tangible with a story. Meet Aisha, a barista from Minneapolis, who always felt a pull to write poetry that uplifted her community. For years, she buried that dream under the weight of long shifts and self-doubt, convinced she wasn't qualified to share her words. One evening, a message like this one stirred her spirit, urging her to act on her vision. She took a small step. She wrote down her goal to publish a poetry chapbook, reached out to a local writers group, and started performing at open mics. Within a year, her chapbook was in local bookstores, and her words were sparking conversations about healing and hope. Aisha's vision wasn't just for her, it was for a city craving light. Your vision this June 6 could do the same. Chosen one, don't let it perish, let it live. Now, let's address the temptation to wait for perfection. You've been holding back, thinking you need more skills, more money, more time before you can step into God's plan. But Ecclesiastes 11:4 warns, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap, a delay tactic disguised as wisdom. This June 6, God's plan doesn't require your perfection. It requires your presence. Think of the boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish in John 6:9. His offering was small, laughable even, but in Jesus' hands it fed thousands. Your small steps, writing that goal, reaching out, acting now, are your loaves and fish. Offer them and watch God multiply what you thought was insufficient. Let's explore the power of alignment. You've been sensing a shift, a feeling that things are falling into place in ways you can't explain. That's not coincidence, it's divine alignment, God orchestrating people, opportunities and resources to converge at this exact moment. Psalm 37:23 says, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him." This June 6, every step you take in faith is being steadied by God's hand, aligning you with his purpose. You've felt out of sync before, efforts falling flat, doors closing, plans unraveling. But now, the universe is humming in harmony with your calling. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your way of stepping into that alignment, syncing your actions with heaven's rhythm. Imagine a clock, its gears clicking into place, each piece moving in perfect unison to strike the hour. That's God's plan for you this June 6. A moment when every gear of your life, from your trials to your talents, locks into place for a divine chime. You're not forcing the gears, you're cooperating with the clockmaker. Your past struggles, they've shaped the gears. Your current dreams, they're the hands pointing to now. Your faith, it's the power that keeps the clock ticking. Don't resist the alignment, embrace it. Your small steps are the clicks that set the chime in motion, announcing to the world that God's plan is unfolding. Let's talk about influence. You might think your actions this June 6 are small, insignificant in the grand scheme, but Matthew 5:14 declares, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." Your decision to step through this door isn't just about you. It's about the countless lives your light will touch. Your influence isn't measured by followers or fame. It's measured by the It's measured by the hearts you inspire, the hope you spark, the chains you break. Think of Ruth, a widowed foreigner whose simple choice to stay with Naomi led to a legacy that birthed King David and, ultimately, Jesus. Your choices this June 6 could ripple like Ruth's, touching generations you'll never meet. Picture a pebble dropped into a still pond, its ripples spreading far beyond the point of impact. That's your influence, chosen one. Your 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are the pebble. And the ripples are the lives changed by your obedience. The co-worker who sees your courage and finds their own. The child who inherits your faith instead of your fears. The stranger who hears your story and believes again. This June 6, God's plan is to amplify your influence, turning your small acts into waves of transformation. Don't underestimate your light. It's brighter than you know. Now, let's address the weight of responsibility. Being chosen isn't just a privilege, it's a calling to serve. Luke 22:26 says, "The greatest among you should be like the one who serves." This door leads to a battlefield where you're not just receiving blessings, you're fighting for others. You're called to lift the broken, guide the lost, and stand in the gap for those who can't stand for themselves. It's daunting, yes, but it's also your honor. This June 6, God's plan equips you with everything you need, not human strength, but divine power. Those 3 steps are your training ground, preparing you to serve with humility and courage. Imagine a shepherd, staff in hand, leading his flock through a valley shadowed by wolves. That's you, chosen one. Your flock may be your family, your community, or even strangers God places in your path. Your staff is your faith. Your steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your strides through the valley. You're not alone. The Good Shepherd walks with you, guiding your every move. June 6, embrace the responsibility, because your service will leave a legacy that echoes through eternity. If this message is stirring your heart, join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to stay connected to your divine purpose. Your subscription is a commitment to shine your light with a family of believers. And if you feel led, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us reach more souls at their divine turning points. Type "My Vision Lives" for June 6 in the comments to declare your resolve. Your voice is a ripple, spreading hope across a community of faith. Let's keep moving toward this open door, chosen one, with hearts ready to serve and visions ready to soar. Let's dive into the mystery of rest. Not the rest of idleness, but the rest of trust, where you cease striving and let God be God. Hebrews 4:11 says, "Let us, therefore, make every effort to enter that rest, so that no one will perish by following their example of disobedience." This June 6th, God's plan includes a call to rest in His promises, to stop wrestling with what you can't control and trust the one who holds it all. You've been carrying burdens, financial stress, family worries, unfulfilled dreams, like a backpack filled with stones. But God is saying, lay it down, rest in me, and watch me work. Picture a weary traveler collapsing under the weight of their load until a kind stranger offers to carry it. That's Jesus, inviting you to rest in Him. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This June 6, your 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are not about striving harder, they're about trusting deeper. Writing your goal is an act of faith, not frenzy. Reaching out is a step of reliance, not control. Acting now is a move of obedience, not exhaustion. Rest in God's plan and let His strength carry you through the door. Chosen one, As you release the weight of your burdens into the hands of the one who carries all things, you're not just finding rest. You're stepping into a divine rhythm that aligns your heart with God's plan for this June 6. This rest isn't passivity, it's an active trust, a holy confidence that allows you to move forward without the exhaustion of striving in your own strength. Matthew 11:28 is more than a promise. It's an invitation to walk lightly through the door before you, unencumbered by the stones of worry, doubt, or control. This June 6, God's plan is to teach you the dance of faith, where every step is guided by His grace, every turn sustained by His power. The door, radiant with your name etched in light, isn't a barrier to overcome. It's a portal to a life where you move in sync with the Creator's heartbeat. Let's talk about the power of focus. In a world screaming for your attention, endless notifications, pressures of work, voices of comparison, it's easy to lose sight of what matters. But Philippians 3:13 says, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal, to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. This June 6th, God's plan is to sharpen your focus, to help you tune out the noise and lock your gaze on the purpose He's set before you. Your vision, that dream burning in your soul, isn't a distraction, it's your North Star, guiding you through this open door. The enemy wants you scattered, chasing lesser things, but God is calling you to a laser-like clarity that transforms your life and the lives around you. Picture an archer, bow drawn, eyes fixed on a distant target. The crowd may shout, the wind may howl, but their focus doesn't waver. That's you, chosen one, this June 6. Your target is God's plan, your calling to start that project, mend that relationship, or break that cycle. Your bow is your faith, and those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are the arrows you release toward the mark. Writing your goal clarifies your aim. Reaching out aligns you with allies. Acting now propels your arrow forward. You don't need to silence every distraction. You just need to focus on the one who called you. This June 6, let everything else fade as you press toward your divine purpose. Let's ground this with a story. Imagine Marcus, a teacher from Houston who always felt a pull to mentor young men in his community. For years he was distracted, overtime shifts, social media, the grind of daily life. One night, a message like this urged him to focus on his God-given calling. He took a small step. He wrote down his goal to start a mentorship program, reached out to a local youth center, and began meeting with 3 teens weekly. Today, his program serves dozens, giving boys a path to purpose. Marcus didn't eliminate every distraction, he focused on what mattered. Your focus this June 6 could spark a similar ripple, chosen one. Those 3 steps are your way of aiming true. And let's address the illusion of scarcity. The world tells you there's not enough time, money, opportunities to fulfill your dreams. But Psalm 23:1 declares, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing." This June 6, God's plan is to shift your mindset from lack to abundance, to show you that His resources are limitless for those who trust Him. You've been hesitant, thinking your vision requires more than you have, but God doesn't call you to a purpose without providing the provision. Your small steps, writing your goal, reaching out, acting now, are seeds planted in fertile ground. God's abundance will water them, turning mustard seeds into mountains. Imagine a garden, its soil rich, ready to nurture any seed you sow. That's God's provision for you this June 6. Your seeds are your faithful actions, and His abundance is the sunlight, rain, and nutrients that make them grow. You don't need a warehouse of seeds. You just need to sow what's in your hand. Writing your goal is a seed of intention. Reaching out is a seed of connection. Acting now is a seed of courage. This June 6, God's plan is to multiply your small offerings into a harvest that overflows. Trust His abundance and step through the door knowing you lack nothing. Let's dive into the gift of discernment. In a season of divine opportunity, not every voice deserves your ear. John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me." This June 6, God's plan includes sharpening your ability to hear His voice above the clamor, well-meaning advice, cultural pressures, or the enemy's lies. You've been swayed before, chasing paths that looked promising but led to dead end. Now, God is tuning your spirit to discern His guidance, ensuring you step through the right door at the right time. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your way of testing the voice you hear, aligning your actions with the shepherd's call. Picture a compass, its needles steady, pointing true north despite the storms around it. That's your discernment this June 6. The storms, doubt, fear, opinions may rage, but God's voice is your true north, guiding you through the door of destiny. Writing your goal helps you clarify His direction. Reaching out connects you with those who confirm His call. Acting now tests your trust in His guidance. You don't need to hear every voice. You just need to follow the one who knows you by name. This June 6, let discernment be your shield, keeping you on the path of divine purpose. Now, let's talk about legacy. Not just what you achieve, but what you leave behind. Isaiah 58:12 says, "Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up the age-old foundations. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings." This June 6th, God's plan is to position you as a restorer, not just for your life, but for generation. Your steps through this door, writing your goal, reaching out, acting now, aren't just personal victories. They're foundational stones for a legacy that outlives you. You're not just breaking cycles of poverty, addiction, or strife. You're building bridges for others to cross into freedom. Imagine a city, its walls crumbled, its streets desolate, until a builder arrives with vision and resolve. That's you, chosen one. Your city is your family, your community, the lives God has entrusted to you. Your tools are your faith, your actions, your obedience. This June 6, every step you take is a brick laid, a wall repaired, a street restored. Your goal is a cornerstone, your outreach is a beam, your action is mortar. You're not just stepping through a door, you're constructing a legacy that will stand when you're gone. Don't build small, build eternal, because God's plan is bigger than you've dared to dream. Let's address the pull of comfort. It's tempting to stay where it's safe, where the risks are low and the outcomes predictable. But 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "For we live by faith, not by sight." This June 6, God's plan is to call you out of your comfort zone into a faith zone, where the impossible becomes your reality. You've been cozy in the familiar, even if it's unfulfilling, because the unknown feels too daunting, but the door before you doesn't lead to safety, it leads to significance. Those 3 steps, write your goal, reach out, act now, are your way of stepping out, trusting that God's plan is worth the risk. Picture a ship, safe in harbor, its sails furled, its hull untouched by waves. That's comfort, chosen one, but ships are built for the sea, for storms and horizons. This June 6, God is unfurling your sails, calling you to launch into the deep. Your goal is your map, your outreach is your crew, your action is your wind. You don't need a calm sea. You need a captain who commands the waves. Step out of the harbor, because your faith journey is meant for open waters, where miracles happen and legacies are born. If this message is stirring your spirit, consider supporting our mission through Super Thanks below. Your generosity helps us carry this divine call to others ready to leave their harbors for God's plan. Type, "I'm focused on God's plan for June 6 in the comments to seal your commitment. Your declaration is a wave joining a sea of believers sailing toward their destiny. Let's keep pressing toward this open door, chosen one, with discernment, legacy, and faith leading the way. Let's explore the beauty of surrender, not to defeat, but to divine orchestration. Romans 12:1 urges, "Offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." This June 6, God's plan is to invite you to lay down your plans, your fears, your need for control, and let Him write the next chapter. Surrender isn't loss, it's exchange, trading your limited vision for His infinite wisdom. Your 3 steps: write your goal, reach out, act now, are acts of surrender, offering your efforts to God's greater purpose. You're not giving up, you're giving over, trusting that His plan is unfolding perfectly. Imagine a potter, hands steady, shaping clay on the wheel. That's God, and you're the clay. This June 6, every spin of the wheel, every trial, every opportunity is shaping you into a vessel of honor. Your goal is the clay's form. Your outreach is its texture. Your action is its firing in the kiln. Surrender to the potter's hands, because the vessel he's crafting is destined to hold treasures that bless nations. Don't resist the wheel. Yield and watch God's plan transform you into something breathtaking.